Well, we'll give it a try. This is a nasty place to film. This is a 96 Safari van. It's got 200,000 miles on it. It's a high mileage guy. What happened a long time ago, around the 100,000 mile mark, the door started getting heavy. When you'd undo the door, when you'd unlatch the door, it would be hard to pull open. That continues to get worse until it takes two hands. And online, what you find on YouTube are, or the only videos I found anyways, where they replaced the worn bushings in the hinge. This is the hinge you're looking at here. It's pretty dirty. This is a pretty well lubricated car. Anyway, this particular car doesn't have bushings. This is a steel pin that they're using for a hinge, and they've just pushed a couple of holes. This is the one side of the hinge, and this is the other side. They've just pushed a hole through there and drawn the metal on the... I'm not even going to attempt to show you this. You'll have to look at it on your own car, but instead of a bushing, they draw the metal down where they push through from the top, draw the metal down at the bottom. And that way, when they put the hinge between the two and the hinge starts to work, instead of these two flat pieces rubbing on one another where wear would be negligible, they've managed to push up maybe a 1/16 of an inch or something of metal, which quickly wears down. When that wears down, the whole door drops and it starts to drag on the, well, I don't even have a light on it. It just starts to drag on this pin. So the logic says go and fix the pin or fix something in the door. The problem, I think, is the hinge. So it seems logical if wear in here is what's caused the problem, just lift it up and put in a little piece of wire. Problem is, when you try to lift here, it won't move. So I didn't, it just stayed being a heavy door for a long time. Anyway, it turns out that this door probably weighs a couple 100 pounds. It's a heavy, I don't know what it weighs, but it's a heavy, heavy door. And when you pry here, you're doing the right thing. You're trying to lift this back up, but it won't move. What worked for me was to open up the window. I don't even have the rope. This happened a long time ago. Right here, tie a rope right here through the open window and pull up against the ceiling and get some of the weight off the door. Then you find when you come back to, what am I looking at? Here we go. When you get back to the hinge, the next time you put a little pry bar in there, it'll lift up. And then you just get an appropriate sized piece of wire. Looks like I've used a couple of pieces there. But a little piece of wire, and then the wire takes place of the worn metal of this drawn piece of hinge. I don't know if that's making sense to you or not. Anyways, if you wrap a piece of wire around there, then when you take the weight off the door, these two pieces slide back together, but it's held apart by these bits of wire. Anyway, I did this, it's 6 months ago now or something, and it's still working. The door still isn't perfect. This is a high mileage GM, 200,000 miles. But had I thought of this a long time ago, it would have saved me the two-handed pull to get the door to open. It probably would have. I didn't bother doing the second hinge, just lazy. If you did the second hinge, that might help. I don't know. But you'd be able to see it more easily if you get your own car in real time and look under here to see where they've drawn the metal out. You can see the part that wears, and all you have to do to make it work better, maybe not perfectly, but what you can do to make it better is just replace that worn out piece of metal with a piece of wire. Anyway, well, the other thing I did is these little rollers. I did this a long time ago. These little rollers that stop the door from banging open, they get soaked. Up here in Canada, they get soaked with ice and snow and water. I put a little flap of plastic on there that just the water runs down here, and instead of dripping on the little roller, it just drips off to the side. So my little roller doesn't have any flat spots on it. It still works. As soon as you hear it get noisy at all, just drip a little more oil on it. Anyways, I can't think of anything else. That's what's keeping this old girl alive. Hope that helps. Bye for now.